Hello my friends, today I show you how to get nice skin tone in Lightroom, and of course the way of creating presets with different colors for post editing process. Let's take one picture. Look at that great girl, yes, and try to understand that the most important color when we shoot people is the color of skin tone. Lightroom has a perfect instruments for changing skin tone. First, you have to know that developers of Lightroom took 3 color wheels. What I mean, these color wheels, yes, and put color wheels of Eton into Lightroom by special way. First color wheel was cut on 2 parts, half to half, and look, and was put it in white balance settings. See, one half of color wheel and second part of this color wheel. And we can change all colors using these 2 parts of color wheel. You see, second color wheel was cut on 8 parts, and these parts were put it in the settings HSL. Look in the settings, hue, saturation and luminance. See all these 8 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts of color wheel. Of course, we can change any of these parts of our color wheel. But the most interesting for me, the most important for skin tone, is the third color wheel. Third color wheel was cut on 3 parts and put it in camera calibration settings. As for me, this instrument is the most interesting and most important instrument for skin color correction and for common color correction. You see, if you look at the settings, we see one part of color wheel, second and third part, and one more part of color wheel, the same like in white balance tint, but this tint work only with shadow. So that's very nice also. You will see it, how it works. First, look at first part of that color wheel, which called red primary. If we change a little bit hue of red primary, you can see how skin tone change or to the yellow side or to the red side. Look, red side, yes, and yellow side. Good. And look at green primary. If we take this settings and this button and a little bit move it to the left side, we see how it change in yellow tone. And to the right side, green primary give for us more red tones at skin. Okay, and blue primary. This channel, this part of color wheel, give for us the same options. In left side, we can add more red tones, see it, and in right side, more yellow and green tones. So we have 3 different part of color wheels, which gives to us options and opportunity to change skin tone on 2 different sides, or yellow or red. Great, how it works. Imagine during your shootings you always taking your pictures with different white balances. It depends on your location, situations, lighting, also. For example, if you get white balance very yellow, I just a little bit remove red primary in yellow side, in right side, and add to skin tone more yellow. How to correct it? We have two another options. For example, I can change green primary to the right side, yes, and add more red and pink tones. And of course blue primary in red side, I add more. If I got too much red tones, of course I can correct it using the green primary and blue primary. If I want to change saturation, I can do it also in camera calibration. Do it decrease or increase, depends on my choice and my wishes. But try to understand that camera calibrations give for us opportunity to change skin tone or to the yellow side or to the red side. That is very important. You will see it after. Of course, better to mix these options with another settings in Lightroom. Let's try to create something interesting. I mean, some interesting presets. Okay, just do it like default. Default here is a little bit more up. My raw picture. How I can create nice, interesting toning for that pictures. And first, I prefer more contrast pictures because contrast takes our attention and put it directly in the picture. Okay, put the contrast maybe 50, 60, doesn't matter, depends on our choice. If we do our contrast more increase, like here, we got two problems. First problem, we lost all details in shadows, so we have restored it and use this set in shadows and add more details in shadows. Look how it works. Yeah, good. And the second problem for me is much bigger problem is saturation. After changing contrast and we got more saturated image. I don't like too much saturated colors at my images, and I have options for correct it. In Lightroom I have two settings, vibrance and saturation, and I can use it the following way. Following two ways. First way, I can change vibrance and do it little bit more increase, yes, and my colors more soft colors became more stronger, yes, and saturation I do it more decrease and my color accents became not so strong. Okay, this way. Another way, just completely opposite. When I do vibrance, more decrease, yes, and little bit more increase saturation. This way gives for me a small color accents at my pictures. If I had it before, yes, do it more stronger. Doesn't matter which way do you use, you have to know what you want to get eventually. This way or another way, doesn't matter. For example, we leave this way. About clarity settings, be careful with these settings. I can add it a little bit to my presets, but not too much. Maybe 10, 15 amount, no more than 20, because clarity settings add a lot of black colors to the borders between light and shadows. You see how it works. It creates pictures very dirty. Okay, do it a little bit or just leave it like default. Then, what I need turn curve. Turn curve is a very important instrument for me. At first, if you look at turn curve, you can see these special settings and this kind of regulation. I don't like it, and I push button and got option for change everything in turn curve. I never used colors, the different channels, only RGB. Always I want to add to my pictures view much more close to art painting or film pictures, and I don't like if my pictures look like as digital photography. And for that reason I a little bit remove black points to gray points. Yes, please again. Good. And white points to gray points also. Yes. Of course, I lost a little bit contrast and I can restore it using shape of my curve. And I create is S shape of my curve, like letter S. And add my cone. But if I removed all black points from my picture, I got a view of my picture much more close to painting or films. And this kind of curve helps me a lot in post-toning. You will see how it works. Of course, contrast gives me the same problems. I can lose more details in shadow, have to restore it, and some kind of saturation, yes, have to correct it. Of course, highlights I can correct also. Black and whites depends on your choice, but take care about blacks, because too much blacks gives for you this problem with details and shadows also. Do it very, very, very carefully. Okay. HSL. Maybe we can go back later to these settings. Split toning. For my art pictures, I always like split toning. And I add a little bit more warm tone to highlights, like here maybe, but not too much. And I don't like cold shadows, I really don't like, and very warm shadows. I like brown shadows. You can ask me how to get brown color in Lightroom. It's very easy. Brown and chocolate always you can get if you mix green and magenta. But how we can get it? It's very easy. Just at first I can add magenta in shadows in split toning. You see? Yes, magenta. And add green tones where? Of course, in camera calibration settings. Camera calibrations in shadows give me options to add more green tones. And you see, if you look at the skin, you see chocolate tones, brown tones on the skin. Depends on the amount of green and of course magenta. If you get a lot of saturation, of course I can correct it after. Don't forget, you can correct all this balance between brown, magenta and green using your global white balance. Yeah, the same. Add some magenta here, or green tones, see how it works, and temperature. Yes, how it works. Now we got this chocolate skin tone. Of course, and as I told you before, if you have a lot of saturation, you can correct it. Then about detail, I leave it default. Never use noise reduction in biluminance, maybe sometimes in color if I need it. Lens correction, of course, if you have some chromatic aberration, better to remove it, but not here. About some effects, of course you can add some vignetting, but that picture it looks like not very good because dark corner and the picture with a white background looks not very nice. Better to remove it, please. Okay. I can add some grain to my picture because I like a lot of grain, because I like this view of my picture with structure, and grain sometimes it helps to me to add some structure. Okay, then I can add some grains between 15 and 25-30 amounts, depends on my choice. I like the structure, never afraid about that. And then I will show you how to do some kind of retouching with the grain. Of course, I can change color of my picture if I need it in camera calibration settings also. Maybe I do it specially, just add some, you see, yellow tones. Then add some pink tones in green. Here in blue primary. Yes. Yes, add some saturation here. But then I don't want very saturated image, and I should correct it in camera calibration settings. And if I need it in global saturation, at my picture, see how it's work, how it change. Or I can only tone in, yes, on some color of the body, chocolate color. And now you can see how tone curve helps me to add some toning, because if you remove black points, toning lay down at my pictures much more equally. You see, look, before and after. I like this view. Okay, so the most important steps for creating presets to me, it's work with contrast, white balance, then of course some parts of shadows, vibrant saturation, tone curve, like its shape, toning for adding more chocolate tones, using split toning, magenta, and green in camera calibration. Also, I can add some gray. Where's some gray? Here. Good. If I like these presets, I can save it. But don't forget, I like a lot more cold background. In next video, I show you how to work with cold background and warm body tone. It would be special additional video for work with Lightroom. If I like this kind of color, maybe a little bit add some green tone. I save it, new preset, create new preset, and save it. Don't forget about white balance. Always your pictures you're taken with different white balance. If you're scared about that, just remove it or leave it. Remove it will be better for you. And I don't need this local graduated filters. About lens corrections, of course, depends on your choice. If you need it, you can leave. If you don't need it, you can remove it. And great. Good. Now we create our presets and got chocolate skin tone in Lightroom, and we are almost ready. Go to Photoshop for skin retouching. Of course, if I want to change everything, at first I can create this one snapshot, and then maybe I want to apply another color using my presets, because I have a lot of different presets for color correction in Lightroom. Yes, of course, it's very easy for getting different kind of colors. how it works. Completely different colors, different tones. Of course, you can apply it also if you want to use my colors, my presets. It's very easy. Just visit my website with presets and use it for your color correction. I have different packages: light package, silver with 133 presets with newest 71, and gold package with 460 presets and video composition for free. Okay, now we are ready for my next video. See you in next video.